What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steve Natto, and we're here today with a sneaker I've had my eye on for a while and finally got around to picking up. This is the brand new Nike Air Force 1 React. It's a combination of a few different things that Nike has created here. It primarily uses the React outsole on the Air Force 1 silhouette with a cool new design with some twists in it that make a really good looking silhouette in my opinion. These have arrived at a decent amount of Foot Lockers across the US now. I think they first had a drop in Europe and are now in the States. So excited to dive into this video for you guys because I keep getting asked about it and finally got around to making this video. So be sure to hit that subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel here today. Like the video I'm posting today. I post the same types of videos for all the new sneakers that I pick up. So like we're doing today, I'm going to show you guys the sneaker up close and on feet, and I'll give you guys my final opinions at the end of the video. So along with the on feet, I'm going to show you guys a couple different ways to style the shoe. So there's tons of content in this video. So also be sure to drop a like if you guys like this video as well. But with all of that out of the way, the Air Force 1 Low React did drop earlier in January this year. And like I said, first came out in Europe, but now has made it to the United States. And the retail price here is $120. So a definitely fairly priced shoe as well, and a great looking one at that we just need to dive into the video for you guys here today. So let's go into the Nike Air Force 1 Low React. All right, so here we are up close with the shoes, the Air Force 1 Low React. So it's a great looking shoe. Obviously, it's all white on the upper. We got this giant black swoosh, some red down at the heel. But before we take a deeper dive into the shoes, I do want to show you guys the box. This is just a classic kind of gray looking Air Force 1 box that we see with other kind of generic classic Air Force 1s. And on the size tag here, however, it does say Air Force 1 React in white, black, and university red. And that retail price is $120 right there. So now we will dive into the shoes, and if we start with the lateral side here, especially down at the bottom, we can really get a good look at that white outsole with a little bit of red piping there with the Air written in black. And it's a little hard to see on camera, but there we go. If we tilt it a little bit on the piece of red right there, you can see Nike React. Talking about the React insole in the shoe, we got the outsole running all the way around that midsole, and you got some of the kind of traction up at the very toe, which is a little bit different than the rest of the midsole and outsole that we can see. As we move up the lateral side, we have some really nice smooth leather on the back panel, then some mesh for the mid panel, and around the toe we have that nice smooth leather again as well. This giant black swoosh in an outline wrapping around to the back heel. So it's a cool looking shoe from the lateral side that I definitely like, and a use of a bunch of different materials and textures to start it off. Now moving to the front of the shoes, if we start down at the toe, we can get a better look of that traction on the outsole right there. As we move up, we move to the midsole and we see some stitching in the middle. Moving to that toe box, which is that all nice smooth leather material, very similar to regular white Air Force 1s. And then as we move up to the tongue, it gets a little bit different. So we don't see a lace lock here, but we see a different type of stitching and pattern holding the bottom lace in place. And then we got these all white laces, that mesh tongue, all the way up to a giant tongue logo where we got the Nike Air and Air Force 1 written at the top. We also have some black piping around that white mesh tongue. It's pretty lightweight. It feels really nice and flexible. So cool design on that. But now we will move to the medial side. And wrapping around again, now if we start on the medial side at the bottom here, we have some more of that traction going all the way down the midsole and kind of outsole here. The rest of the midsole is white as we get to the rest of this red kind of extending piece, which wraps all around the shoe that we saw on the front. And then as we move up to the upper on the medial side, we see DMSX and a little Nike swoosh. So there's a collection of shoes that are all from this DMSX collection, and there's a number of different things, but I was really looking forward to this React Air Force 1. And then again, we see the giant black outline swoosh, the smooth leather in the back, the mesh mid panel, the smooth leather up front with the perforations on the toe. We can see the zigzagging of the laces, and the very top, those lace loops, again with the white laces. White piping all around the inner liner of the sneaker as well. And that will round it out for the medial side. Onto the back heel, it's pretty much the most colorful part of the shoe. Again, down at the bottom, we see that traction. We see the red kind of outlined ring wrapping all the way around the heel. White midsole, then we get into this black smooth leather all the way up to the very back heel where we have white, and then red stitching for Nike Air on the back of both. And from the inner part, on the medial side, peeking through, you can see the DMSX and the little Nike swoosh right there, peeking from the sides as well. And now if we turn on the flash to take a look inside the shoes, we can again see that white inner lining all the way down to a red insole with that same design that we see on the outsole for the Nike React kind of technology. It does say Nike React in white, has the size stickers there, and is entirely red on the inside, but it's got that pattern all throughout. So really cool and, you know, pretty soft to the touch as you feel it, and definitely comfortable when you put on the shoe as well, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Behind the tongue, we also see the classic Nike and the swoosh kind of trademark information. And finally, I'll get you guys a shot of the size tag, which is on the inner part of the medial right there. There's a shot of some of the numbers and information on the React Air Force 1 low. And lastly here, we'll check out the outsole. So basically just the classic Air Force 1 outsole. We see the Nike swoosh right there on both sneakers, that React kind of design on the heel and the toe for traction, but otherwise classic of the Air Force 1. And now that we have taken that full up close and in-depth look at the sneakers, it's time to get them laced up and show you guys what they look like on feet. All right, so now there we have it for the Nike Air Force 1 React on feet. So as I was saying throughout the whole video, basically, you know, I really like this shoe, and the on feet didn't change that at all. It only reinforced it for me. I think this is a great shoe. It was extremely comfortable. I'm a really big fan of it, and I think the design looks good. The primarily white colorway looks really nice. and the retail price of 120 bucks being only a little bit more expensive than regular white Air Force Ones is definitely not too bad. I think this is going to be a great shoe for the spring and the summer of 2020 here. It's extremely comfortable. Like I said, that React insole really just helps the comfortability of it. And one thing I will say too is that design we saw on the insole, you can actually really feel that on your foot. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just something to notice. When you put your foot first in the shoe, you can definitely feel it. You get used to it as you walk, but it's definitely something worth noting. The sizing in terms of these, I think they fit exactly like other Air Force One lows. So for me, that's essentially either true to size or down a half size. Air Force One seem to fit essentially a little bit big. For me, for my regular Nike sizing, I do like to go down a half size to my Air Force One sizing, but I would always recommend, go into a store and try on any pair of Air Force Ones that you guys can to get your correct fit, and then buying these, you'll be able to match that fit up correctly. But also, like I said, these are in a lot of Foot Lockers at this point, so if you head over to your local mall, there's a good chance that they could have these. I expect them to do sort of a wider release throughout the rest of 2020. Maybe not for this color, but for other colorways. Like I said at the beginning, I think there's at least a few other ones that are out there now, and I'm excited to see what else Nike can do for this, Nike React Air Force One in the future in terms of other colorways, maybe changing a little bit, maybe doing a high top or some other differences. But I love the crossover technology, and I think it's a great shoe. So now if I had to give you guys my final rating and opinion on a scale out of 10, I'm going a 9.5 out of 10 on these. I think they are great for the retail price of 120 bucks. The design, all things included, I think it's a great shoe for the spring and the summer of 2020. The design, I think, is really nice. I think everything about it is great, and the comfortability is a lot better than regular Air Force Ones too. So I think it's a shoe you can wear all day, every day, and have no problems at all. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of this React Air Force One. Like I've been saying, I think it's a great shoe, but I'd love to hear from you guys. You guys can also connect with me on social media. The links are in the description down below. I am most active on Instagram and post everything that I pick up that's going to make its way onto YouTube on Instagram first, so be sure to check that out. Otherwise, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you guys were new to the channel here today. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. But that is going to wrap it up for today. So thank you all for watching again. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys real soon on the next video.